birds fly, and the dreams that you dreamed of, why then, why can't I someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you dreamed of, why then, why can't well, I see trees of green and I see red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white, the bright blessed day, but I like the dark, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you dreamed of, dreams really do come true.
I read from Ecclesiastes 3. For everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Excuse me. A time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones together. Today we gather stones together, for this is the time and this is the perfect place to gather to honor and celebrate the lives of 4 beloved congregants who made their transitions last year. So welcome. Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Shipley Allinson. On behalf of all those who you knew and loved, all the souls we are remembering today, I welcome you to this celebration of life service. We call this a celebration service, because even though we are saddened by these losses, even though we are grieving, and it's good to grieve, It is also a time to celebrate who these individuals were and what they meant to us. They were truly loved by this community, an integral part of our congregation. Each one gave so much to us, excuse me, and we so wanted to honor their gifts, their service, and the love they had for us and we for them. We decided to do a joint service for them as most of them knew and loved each other. I'm sure they are all here in spirit, smiling down on us, listening to what we're going to say about them, and probably laughing. So we have pictures of all four. Today we will be celebrating Peter Clark, who passed September 9th, 2022, Karl Kasprzak, who passed November 21st, 2022, Catherine Erickson, who passed February 24th, 2023, and Ed Woodman, who passed April 19th, 2023. All beautiful expressions of the Most High God. And we have four individuals, each who have offered to share a short remembrance about one of those individuals who have passed. And following those remembrances, we will invite you, does everyone have a candle now? If you don't, there will be some up here. Take the paper off the candle if it's there, because that will not help you, because what you're going to be doing, and I'll give further directions later, you will be bringing those candles forward. You will light your candle from the Christ candle. You'll be coming up from the sides. You'll be coming up from the back, actually. You'll light your candle from the Christ candle and then just stick it in that salt. I'll give you more directions, but you can say a prayer, a silent prayer, or if you would like to give a silent message to one of the individuals who has passed, you can do that while you're putting your candle in the salt. It will stand up. It really will. You can trust it. It will stand up. But try to keep them. I'm going to have the speakers put them right in the center and keep them as close to the center as you can, because there'll be a lot of candles there. And they will all come together and burn together as one. So let's have a moment of prayer. Deep breath. We gather together today to honor and send out our love to these beautiful individuals who made their transition this past year. Yes, we are saddened at the thought that something precious has gone out of our lives. But today we give thanks that we had these beautiful souls as friends, companions, loved ones. Indeed, the world is a better place because of them. So let's take a moment in silence, and I just invite you to bring one or two or all of them into your hearts and remember them. Remember the gifts they brought you and how you have been blessed by them. Peter, Karl, Catherine, and Ed. Let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. So it is. We will be showing individual photos, I believe. Stan, are we doing that, Stan? Yes. Okay. So our first speaker today is Cheryl Wookie, and she was a long time friend of Peter Clark, so she will speak about Peter. You're going to use this one, right?
Fortunately, I have known Peter for many years. And am the holder of his Tibetan ritual arrow. If you have participated in ceremonies where Peter used it, please share the details with me. The ritual arrow is used in long life practices to recall aspects of our vital energy and protective energy. I see Peter in this, a gentle giant, straight, strong, yet flexible, as the symbolic arrow with a shaft composed of sustainable bamboo with 3 segments representing the 3 shamanic worlds, or mind, body, and spirit. The ribbons are the colors of the 5 elements: fire, earth, metal, water, wood, or air and space, representing the aspects of his life: the educator, mathematician, the coach, the family man, and the conscientious father, the person giving of self to others, the Peace Corps, the Reiki community gatherings, and thousands of interactions at Portsmouth Regional Hospital. A pillar at spiritual groups and gatherings, from Unity on the River, prayer groups, book groups, and potluck gatherings. An earth steward who graciously shared his family's Freedom Lakes pristine experience, including the wild blueberry picking, where he would imitate the bears to keep the city slickers in their toes. There was overlap in these groups, though few probably understood his complexity and depth. Typically, a man of few words. When he spoke, people would stop to listen. For we knew wisdom or humor was soon to be expressed. He had a reputation for thoughtful gag birthday gifts to his lunch harem of wise women. And these aspects of his life come together in the unity of this flag, including this mahjong, or the mirror, which is a symbol for clarity, wholesome or complete perception, and our primordial potentiality of the mindfulness and mind stream or consciousness. As I contemplated for today, I remembered a phrase I heard during a fever while recovering from a trip to China in 2010. A rare coin is rare indeed. It didn't make sense then. All I could relate to was the silk dress I had purchased, with the coin and the ancient coin on the front. And in the shower the other day, I remembered the insight years later that is appropriate for Peter, and not wearing a dress. A rare coin, which he is rare indeed. And he performed amazing deeds, such as when he realized some documents he obtained in India were originals, and he arranged to return them to the rightful owners, and was acknowledged by the Dalai Lama for this selfless action. As the mathematician, I will leave it to his calculations how his Reiki deeds transformed into exponential goodness. At potlucks, Peter contributed brownies. Not just ordinary brownies, ever-changing specialty flavors that he packed into Tupperware containers in uniform rows of sugar cube shapes. A tradition was formed of eating a brownie cube first, just in case dessert never came. After his passing, I tried to continue the legacy. Well, the taste was okay, though the uniform cutting and packing strategy has been lost forever. So Peter did indeed get a last laugh. He also left ashes in the form of a tribute to a fire walk on Earth Day in 1996 with the quote, "I walk on fire. I can do anything I choose." I think we can all relate to that, whatever the fire in our life. Let's remember words he valued. I can do anything I choose. I appreciate and honor you, Peter.
I just have to say one thing about Peter. I had 2 study groups. In 1994 was my first one, and my second one, I think, was 95 or 96. And Peter offered to drive Annika Woodman every week over, 45 minutes to my house because she didn't like driving at night. And so, Annika and Ed and Jim McQuaid and Peter were all very close friends. So I just wanted to add that in. So our next speaker will be Phyllis Craig, who will speak about Karl Kasprzak. Thank you. You want this one or this? Okay.
I stand in the presence
Namaste.
and in the eternal presence of our beloved friend Karl Kasprzak, who had a resemblance, as Stephanie Roy pointed out, to Gandalf, the wizard sent to Middle-earth to combat evil in the Rings of Power. He obviously did not waste time on superficial pursuits like grooming. All he needed was his Grateful Dead cap and his cane. When I got tired of looking at what he used for a cane that actually looked more like an unfinished broomstick, I gave him an interesting carved and eccentric-looking cane, more fitting for a wizard. It took him a while to make the change, but he got so many compliments on his new cane, he finally succumbed to its regular use. Karl was clearly one of a kind. He became a regular fixture of a group made up largely of the more estrogenic gender. He had a strong belief in the superiority of the female gender. And he believed the world would be in a better place if it were run by women. Karl was obviously a very wise old soul. Karl grew up in New England. He went to high school with our Stephanie Roy. His mother was an opera singer who performed for the likes of the patrician congressman and later senator of Massachusetts, Henry Cabot Lodge. And had he won his unsuccessful bid to be vice president, his mother was going to sing at the presidential inaugural. Sadly, Karl's mother died when he was 15 years old, and he described suddenly becoming an adolescent without adequate support or supervision under the care of his father. While he made the most of becoming suddenly a feral adolescent, he later realized there was a downside. Karl often bemoaned the loss of his mother at a young age and all that came with it, recognizing that becoming a wild child put limitations he might have otherwise accomplished educationally and professionally. Nevertheless, Karl was a self-educated man with a passion for learning. He was always great company because he had something interesting to say about just about anything. He was very well informed politically. Because he liked to share with us, he faithfully brought copies of The Economist to Donna Comeau so she could keep up to date on world events. If you ask our group of lunch buddies, I know that the affection we had for him was not only because of his curiosity about the world, his humor, and his great quotes by Alan Watts, his spiritual muse, but also because he was a very kind and warm person. He often expressed great appreciation for his friends and kept contact with quite a variety of people. He was very hard on himself, in contrast, and was self-diagnosed as on the spectrum. Because of that diagnosis, he was beset by significant anxiety when in a large group of people. You may have noticed that Karl liked to sit in the back of the sanctuary. And in our old church, in fact, he would sometimes sit in the fellowship hall during service, soaking up the good vibrations, but never missing the fellowship afterwards. Here at the synagogue, he actually came in. What I admired most about Karl was that he found his own way to give to the church. He had at least 2 people in the church that he gave money to every month to help them so that they could live with more financial security. And that was out of a custodian's salary. He also drove Betty to church every week since she didn't have a car. Karl had a tender heart, and he was generous. One day, last November, several of us shared at church that Karl had not responded to the calls that week. This was very unusual. I called the police for a wellness check from the synagogue. The officer asked around at his office while I was still on the phone and sadly informed me that Karl had passed the week before. This was very unexpected and shocking. While his death certificate reported that he died of natural causes, it seems to have been some kind of internal bleeding, possibly a side effect of some pain medication he had recently begun. I was so saddened that I didn't get to say goodbye to Karl and that I wouldn't see him again. I hope he knows how much I valued his friendship. Karl was a model of someone who put words to his appreciation of others, making others feel seen. After his death, I spoke to Donna Como about his passing. We both realized we had spoken to him the day before he died. Donna said he told her this. Today I saw Stephanie, who was a speaker at Unity. I had a telephone conversation with Phyllis, and now I am with you. It was a perfect day. He admitted, I have struggled with anxiety and depression my whole life, but now, for some reason that I can't figure out, I'm actually happy. It is unbelievable. Hearing that from Donna gave me peace. We should all be so fortunate to go out on a high note before long illness brings us down. It is we who knew Karl who are bereft of his presence. He made more of an impact than he probably knew. I was chatting last week with my friend Tom, and he said that he doesn't care if anyone remembers him after he is dead because he won't know the difference. Clearly, Tom doesn't watch the Hollywood medium. I personally think that Karl is looking down, satisfied and happy that he made a difference to people, and that he will be sorely missed. So listen up, Karl. We saw you, we loved you, we beheld the Christ in you. Thank you for being my friend. Namaste.
Thank you, Phyllis. Beautiful. I just going to add that every Sunday, Karl would always come, when we're in the old sanctuary, and since we came here, he would always come and speak to me. It was something always esoteric that he had taken from my talk that I rarely understood. And I just wanted to add, he had, you spoke about the women friends. Donna Como brought a lot of pictures of the women tribe. And I also want to mention, which I didn't before, that after we complete our formal part of this service, I'm going to invite you to stay for at least a half an hour, because everyone has stories. And I think there will be a lot about Karl. He's such an amazing soul. So our next speaker is Annie Houghton, is going to speak about Catherine Erickson.
It has been said that a mature adult carries grief and sorrow in one hand and gratitude and joy in the other. And the relationship between these two experiences stretches a person to open their tent wide to welcome the stranger in their midst. I think this statement describes Catherine Erickson. Catherine knew profound grief in her life. Her son died by suicide. Heartbreaking. But grief did not define Catherine. With courage and inner grace, she embraced all of life, its messiness and its incredible transformative moments. Catherine's sorrow deepened her capacity for compassion integrity, and loving presence. As a woman of faith, she desired to make a difference in the lives of her students. And more than that, she desired to address the inequities in education by choosing to teach in an urban school district known for poverty, violence, and low student attendance. When one of the students was killed in a violent encounter, it was Catherine that the principal approached to lead the memorial service. Because everyone in that school community knew that Catherine was an ordained interfaith minister. Her gifts and spiritual presence were acknowledged by the school community. And when teaching in that environment became too much, she chose to teach in an overcrowded charter Catholic school in Lawrence. What she loved about teaching there was the opportunity to pray at the beginning of every class. Yes, she prayed in her own words before each class. Catherine was an active member of Unity on the River. You all know that. You all have experienced her. She served joyfully as a member of the choir, a beloved prayer chaplain, and a home and hospital chaplain. That's how I really got to know her. And she was engaged in many meetings here, offering astute observations and raising difficult questions. Catherine would begin speaking with that, that little nervous laughter. But that did not turn people off, because we knew after that little laughter, she spoke, and we valued her wisdom. We listened to her. There is so much I could share about Catherine's outreach to those in need, but I want to offer a glimpse into what I think sustained her. Wherever she lived, she found trails to walk and hike. Every day she would go out. She particularly loved going to the woods near her home when she lived in Haverhill, or going to the nearby state forest. It didn't matter if it were cold or in the winter. I used to say, Catherine, really? And in the summertime, Catherine would head to Maine with her hiking gear and tent. She would go alone to meet her Creator. The trees, wildlife, little creatures, rocks, shells, they all spoke to her. They spoke to her of the wonders of creation. And she knew that she was one of the beloved of the divine Creator. I think it was during these solitary times that Catherine's soul was nourished. She was strengthened so that she could continue to open her tent wide to all of those fortunate enough to cross her trail. May we, who witnessed her love, be empowered to action in the days ahead. May it be so. Amen.
Thank you, Annie. Beautiful. I know one of my best memories was Catherine, I think she was living in Ipswich, drove all the way to Unity on the River to give me a Reiki session. She even brought her heavy table, in with her. And it's very generous, very sweet spirit. So our next and final speaker is Jim McQuaid, who will be speaking about Ed Woodman.
Hi, I'm Jim McQuaid, and I had the honor of knowing Ed for over 25 years. I first came to Unity on the River in April of 1997. The first two people I met were Ed and Annika. They were the greeters that day. I don't remember much about meeting Ed that day, but I certainly remember Annika. She didn't speak English. She spoke Swedish English, and I'd never heard that language before that day. Anyhow, we became good friends in the following years, and I really got to know Ed well and appreciate his unique sense of humor when we took a 10-day rafting trip down the Colorado through the Grand Canyon. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 10 days, hiked and rafted. And Ed's sense of humor really rose to the top on that trip. And as fate would have it, the captain of the rafting adventure had the same sense of humor that Ed did. And between the two of them, they kept us laughing and entertained for all 225 miles of the river. Ed was a very caring man. He volunteered and coached several kids' sports teams, especially hockey. Ed also served on the first board of trustees for Unity on the River with his good friend Peter Clark. Ed and Annika were the volunteer hospitality team leaders. Every Saturday night, they would prepare food at home and bring it to the church the next morning. They always got to church early, and they set up hospitality in the kitchen area. And they did this for many, many years. Ed was also a member of the choir. He sang in the choir every Sunday for over 10 years. And Ed also volunteered when we had special events in the sanctuary. We had to move 210 chairs out of the sanctuary and move them back when the event was over. And they were all moved by hand. One time, Ed found a two-wheeler that was meant to carry a suitcase in one of the closets. He brought it out and said, if we attach a large board to the bottom of this, we'll be able to move a whole stack of chairs at one time. And so we did that, and we labeled it Ed's Chair Mover, and we used it for many years after that. Ed also helped count the offering every Sunday and prepare it for the bank, for deposit in the bank. And he did that for over 10 years. In closing, Ed was a good, loving, helpful, caring man with a tremendous sense of humor, which he used to give everybody the gift of laughter. Ed, we miss you. Ed, we all love you. Ed, we all thank you for everything that you gave us.
Ed was a flirt. Annika told me that at his assisted living place, the nurses loved him. Maybe I won't use this. Okay, excuse me, I'm going to change over again. Back to this one. Here we go. I got this one now because I'll be on for a minute. Okay. So this is the opportunity that we have for lighting a candle yourself. We will invite you. The ushers are at the back of the aisles, and they will guide you up by the pews. Bring your candle, light it from the Christ candle, and then, as I said earlier, there's one on both sides. Stick them into the salt. We are the salt of the earth. All of those who have passed are the salt of the earth, and we all bring our own unique. Stephanie, did I forget something? No. The center. Bring it in. Put your candle right in the center. We all bring our own unique flavor, as did all of those beautiful souls.
And you have to remember to take the sleeve off.
The sleeve off, yes, please. If you have a sleeve on there now, take that off. And, kind of push it hard in there and keep it as close to the center as you can. And all the candles will start circling around and be lit up together. I think that's all my directions. While we are waiting or bringing your candle up, we have a chant. It's only one line. Everybody, I think, can remember this. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. You'll hear the music, and then you can join in. All right.
We love you, Ed, and Peter, and Catherine,
And Carl.
and love all.
And just look at the fire of your love in these bowls. How beautiful. Thank you. So let's close our eyes for a moment of silent prayer, closing prayer. Let's take a deep breath and invite you to take a moment again to hold these loved ones in your mind as you choose to remember them. And then thank them for their lives and the gifts they brought to you and how they blessed you. And the greatest gift we can give these friends is to make a commitment to take inspiration from their lives, as Annie had said. Take inspiration from the lives they led, their strength, their love, their compassion, their generosity, their sense of humor, and to truly live it ourselves. And in their honor, let us take the love that we had expected to shower on them and to shower it now on each other, and on the earth and on the world, making us and the world richer and making us better able to fulfill our own missions and purpose on earth. Sweet Spirit, we know that in your great love you are guiding your beloved children along the path of their spiritual unfoldment. Through your infinite love and care, we release the spirits of these loved ones and place all who were near and dear to them lovingly into your hands, knowing that your peace, which passes all understanding, will fill their hearts and minds now and forever. And I read from Khalil Gibran on death. For what is it to die but to stand naked in the wind and to melt into the sun? And what is it to cease breathing but to free the breath from its restless tides, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered? Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when you have reached the mountaintop, then you shall begin to climb. And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance. And so I say, God bless you, Peter, Karl, Catherine, and Ed, and Godspeed on your way. We behold you as God sees you, radiant, ever-loving children of the Most High. Our prayer for you is that wherever you are, and join me if you know this prayer, the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well, and you are richly blessed. So we're going to end with a few verses of Turn, Turn, Turn by Brian. But before we go, I just want to encourage you again, if you'd like to stay for about a half an hour, we have to leave in a half an hour, to talk amongst yourselves and to relay any stories that you want to share with each other. And also, do we still have some chaplains available? Mark is back there. Is any other chaplain? Oh, do it. Thank you. They have white stoles on. So if you feel like you'd like to have prayer, it will be in total confidentiality. So thank you, Brian. Over here.
So much I wish to say, but I think the song says it all. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. A time that you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. All together, to everything turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven.
Beautiful. Thank you, Brian. Yeah. So in this loving presence, I conclude this celebration of life service. We love you. We bless you. We thank you so much for being here. Be sure to join with each other and talk amongst yourselves. God bless you.
Thank you.
What do you think?
But we can definitely put it out.
I don't want to, but
Anybody else a little concerned?
a little concerned. Nope.
That didn't work.
Nope. I think we might. Don't. No.
All right, we can take it outside.
We'll.
Let it go.